Buzz, 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 and welcome back to the Yellowjackets Hive. I'm your host, Emily, and I am super excited to be here for a couple reasons, and I'm sure all of you are just as excited as me. I have been absolutely salivating at the mouth for a full-length trailer and some new promo for the new season ever since they gave us that teaser back in December. Hi, Jess. And the trailer did not disappoint. I don't know about what you guys thought, but I was happy with it. I thought it gave us enough to curb our appetite, but it didn't really feel like it was spoilery or that it revealed too much. For instance, it showed Hilary Swank, but we still don't know in what capacity she's going to appear. There's still a lot of mystery around that. So yeah, I want to know what all of you guys thought about the trailer too. So drop it in the comments. Let me know. But I've compiled. I love it and kind of scary at the same time. Yeah, I think there's definitely a couple characters that have they should definitely be worried, I guess I'll say. But I compiled some screenshots from the trailer and we will go through them from start to finish. I will say that I'm not showing literally every single screenshot that I had because there were an insane amount. So I weeded through and picked out what I thought was the most important, most pressing. And I still have around 100 pictures. So there's quite a few. So let's get started. Oh, Allison says, very, very happy with the trailer. Like you said, a good amount of content, but not spoilery. Yeah, I feel it. Oh, I loved it. I can't wait for February 14th. Yes, same here. I feel it. Someone is going to die. Yeah, I definitely agree. We'll get to that as to why. But when the trailer begins, we hear teenage Shauna say, once upon a time, a bunch of teenage girls get stranded in the wilderness. They hunted their friends, feasted on their flesh, and they went completely nuts. And we heard some of this dialogue in the teaser, but the part about the feasted on their flesh and the hunted their friends thing was new. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit. Hi, Kennedy. So for the very first image that they open up with, we see Misty opening Nat's storage locker. And they have said that there may be a time jump in the adult timeline this season, along with the teen timeline, because we know that there's one in the teen timeline. But if there is, will it happen before or after Nat's funeral if we see one? I'm very curious about that because the way the time jumps have worked that we've seen so far have been like at the beginning. We saw a time jump at the beginning of season 2, not somewhere in the middle or towards the end, and I feel like that might change this season. But in the next picture we get a close-up of Misty's face at the storage locker, and I'm really curious as to what Misty is looking for and why she's even there. Feels like we're going to learn a lot of the secrets they've been hiding this season. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But yeah, why is she there? And what is she looking for? Is she just like trying to tie up loose ends because of Nat's death? Or is she looking for something in particular? Does she think Natalie has something incriminating that could be used against them in some way? And then for the next images, I didn't include them, but we see flashes of the adult woman's face like we do in the teaser trailer. And we see Shauna, Ty, Van, and Lottie. And like I said, they did something similar in the teaser. They're not the exact same images, but it's shots of all their faces in a row. And in the next picture, we get a shot of the side of the plane. And this one really intrigued me because, as you can see, it says SOS, and there's very clearly an X through the part that used to say gone to lake. And now underneath it is written deeper. I don't know if there's something underneath deeper that we can't see, but deeper to me felt very fitting given the fact that based off what we see in the trailer, they go deeper both into the forest and deeper into their belief in what is happening to them in the wilderness. And I mean, I'm assuming they're going to go deeper into the forest after the cabin burns down. That's just my thought. This next picture appears to be the makeshift camp set up by the group after the cabin burned down. And you can see Nat sitting in front of that one teepee in the right-hand corner too. It's we previously saw an image of these teepees in a card that the prop department gave out to the cast and the crew for their work on season 3. And I know a lot of people have noticed this as well. It's been a topic of discussion that it's very interesting that the teepee in the middle has a different opening than the two on the sides do. And in this picture, it looks like there's actually more than 3. But the only one that has a circle opening is the one that's in the center. And that's very similar. It looks very similar to the opening of what like a beehive looks like. So are they leaning more into the fact that their team is called Yellowjackets? I mean, if they go in the caves, Yellowjackets nest underground, so that would be fitting too. In the next picture, we see Mari hiding behind a tree, and we see her in the teaser trailer being chased, but I don't think that this is that same event, because in the teaser, when we see her running, she's wearing the necklace. And as you can see here, it doesn't look like she's wearing the necklace. So I'm thinking those are 2 separate instances. But she looks terrified, which kind of indicates that she's probably being chased. So is this one of their hunts that they just didn't put the necklace on her, or like was it like a spur of the moment thing, or did she get lost? The possibilities are endless, but sorry guys, I'm just reading your comments. Okay, the next picture is some of the girls, and they are moving a piece of wood. It to me, it looks like a door almost. It looks like it could be almost a part of the cabin wall that didn't burn in the fire that they shimmy together to make this like makeshift door or whatever it's supposed to be. And in the picture around the piece of wood, starting at the bottom, that looks like Van, Nat, Shauna, Ty, and then I can't personally tell who it is on the end over there. If any of you can tell, and let me know in the comments. But so what is the purpose of this? Because it looks like there is a hole or an opening underneath it. Could this be used as some type of storage or something? A friend that in one of the group chats that I'm in speculated that this could either be like some type of structure to conserve food and or like to trap animals, or the beginnings of the making of the pit. Allison says, I think they're making their table for feasts. I never considered that before. But to me, it looks like there's something underneath that piece of wood, like an opening, and there might be something in that opening. So that's why I never considered a table, but I do like that thought. Next picture would be Nat, and It looks like she's wearing some kind of makeshift apron of some kind. Like it, and that made me think, is she butchering something? Because it seems like Shauna takes that role very seriously. And I'm wondering, like, would she allow someone else to help out in that way? Or is she going to be territorial of that? Because she feels like that's all she has at this point until she stakes her claim to be the leader of them. But um, in the next shot, it looks like the group sitting around a table and they're all wearing white capes. And it looks like a very similar setup to the snacky feast, like hallucinations in season 2, where they're all dressed up in the I can't remember the exact word that's used to describe it. Bacchanal, I think that's how you say it. I could be saying it wrong, but the the outfits that almost look like old Greek outfits in a way. It looks similar to that. The setup, anyways, the way that they're all sitting around the table. Yes, yes, Allison, that is what I was trying to say. And in the next picture, we see what looks like someone taking from a bowl of mushrooms. Is it possible that they willingly take them again after what happened as a way to like commune with the wilderness? Misty did have that trapper keeper full of plants, as we saw in season 1, and that was not in the cabin. So that did not burn. So she could easily still have that. Or they could have just found them in the woods. I mean, I don't know where hallucinogenic mushrooms grow, but maybe I'm assuming they grow there because I don't think Misty brought them with her. So I'm really curious about that. And yeah, where did they get that dish? That's another good question. Looks like my homemade ramen. Doom coming all over again. Yes, that was my thought too, for sure. Next shot is, it looks like Lottie, and it looks like she has blood smeared all over her face and hands. It appears as if she's eating something, or someone perhaps, was my thought. I don't know who, and I would hope that they're not to the point where they're like eating stuff raw and not cooking it, because why else would she have blood all over her face? But I don't know. Next shot is some of the group running through the woods in the wilderness, dressed in the outfits that we see in the Cannibal Council scene in the pilot episode, and when we see Pit Girl being pulled out of the pit. Oh, this is for the last picture. Lottie Fawn looks like she either devoured someone or got beaten up again. Yeah, the thought of her getting beaten up again did cross my mind. I will say that. Is that her hand, or here, we'll go back for a second. Is that her hand or one that she's eating? I thought it, like in the trailer, when you see it moving fluidly and it's not a picture, it looks like she's eating something. So I don't know. But back to this picture, as I said, they're dressed in the outfits that we see in the Cannibal Council scene in the pilot episode. And in this picture, it's very clear that it's winter. So this makes me question when exactly the time jump is going to factor in the teen timeline. Because, well, is it possible that there's more than one time jump in the teen timeline this season? Because when we leave them, when that cabin burns down, it's winter. And the description, which for episode 1 of season 3, which I will read at the end of this, I'm pretty sure says that it's summertime. So there has to be a time jump there. So if there's a time jump there and we're seeing this image in the trailer, does that mean that there is another time jump in the teen timeline? And maybe we could actually end up seeing Pit Girl this season after all, because there's 2 time jumps. I never considered there being more than one time jump before. So that really made me wonder and question, unless this picture happens to be in a flashback capacity and there is no time jump. So I'm really curious about that. Next picture is the girls jumping up and down. And when we see them jumping up and down, they're chanting buzz, buzz, buzz. And we can see in this picture who I think is the new Jen next to Misty and Akila. And then in the back, there's Van and Mari. There's nothing really that like stands out to me about this one too much. It looks like they're celebrating in this shot in the trailer. Like they're obviously chanting buzz, buzz, buzz for something. Oh, about the last picture. I feel like that hunt scene is either something we see in the first episode, like the Pickerel story in the pilot episode, or we see it in the season finale. Yeah, I could get behind that thought and agree with that. I'm hoping for them to be rescued by the end of season 4 at the latest, so I can see them skipping months of time. Yeah, I would agree with that. That sounds like on par for what I would like too. Next shot is Natalie. And this shot is Nat looking at something, but I personally think she's looking at Ty and Shauna, who are standing in front of one of the teepees. And to me, these two shots very much look sequential in the trailer. Like they were directly interacting with each other in the trailer. So I felt like it looks like Ty and Shauna may have discovered something, or could they have put the pieces together and figured out Nat knows where Nat knows where Coach is and where he's been hiding, and like that she's possibly been helping him. I think Nat is going to be in some serious trouble this season. I am a little bit scared for her. I mean, obviously we know she survives into adulthood, but I'm really scared for what's going to happen with her character journey this season. And the next shot, we see Melissa, and this is when she says, "People are willing to do some messed up stuff just to see another day." I'm unsure of who she's saying this to. You don't see their face or anything, but I definitely think that we're going to see a major uptick in Melissa's screen time this season. So that'll be exciting, especially if Hilary Swank were to be adult Melissa. I really want Melissa as a teenager to get more screen time so that I care about her enough to be invested in her story as an adult, like I am with all the other survivors, because they've built on their characters as teens, which has helped so much. So yeah, that's my hope if she were to be if Hilary Swank were to play her. Next shot, we see Ty holding the gun. And in the trailer, you can very clearly see that she shoots it. And she's also obviously crying while she's doing so. So to me, that means she's doing something that she doesn't want to do. And there's a shot directly after this in the trailer that I didn't include, which shows some leaves with blood splattered on them. And I'm assuming that the blood splattering on them is from Ty shooting the gun. So could this be Ben's execution? Like, there's no way that Nat would ever have the heart to hurt him herself. I can't see her doing that. I can't see her willingly hurting any of them, to be honest with you. But things change, people change, you never know. Next picture is Nat in the fuselage of the plane. And at this point in the trailer, we hear Misty say, I think Natalie knows where Coach Scott is. And we see this image directly after she says that, which is Coach Ben looking like a hot mess, dirty AF, and very rough. He still has the rope that he took from outside of the cabin. And behind him, it looks like he has like a makeshift like sack or bag of some kind that he could have like made out of something. Who knows? They've obviously become very resourceful since they got stranded. So he could have made whatever that is. Next shot is Misty talking to someone, and we visibly see her say, does she deserve to be the leader in this shot? And that made me wonder, is she referring to Natalie or could it be someone else? I thought she could possibly be referring to Shauna. If Shauna steps up and tries to take Natalie's place after Natalie like loses her role as the leader. And also hearing these lines really makes me think like Misty's desire to fit in and belong like definitely outweighs her feelings and the crush that she has on Coach Ben. I really genuinely was hoping that she wouldn't meddle here because of how she felt about him, but it's very clear that Misty is willing to throw literally anyone under the bus in order to feel like she belongs. Starting trouble as always. Yep, that's MFQ for you. Always starting trouble. But yeah, I had high hopes that she wouldn't do that to Coach, but it looks like she proved me wrong. Next picture is Shauna talking to the group, and in the shot, we see her say, instead of doing what was right for us, and she did what she wanted to do. And the obvious assumption here is that she's referring to Nat. And I think based on the next shot that it is indeed Natalie that she's referring to. But is it possible that that's a red herring and that's what they want us to think and it could be about someone else? I don't know. This show gives us a lot of red herrings. So I guess that could be possible, but this picture makes me think that she's talking about Natalie because this is the group all standing in a circle with someone who looks a lot like Natalie kneeling in the center of everyone. You can see her. Ty is standing directly left center, and I think that's the girl that plays Jen in the center. Natalie is what looks like kneeling or crouching right in front of that person. Almost like she's asking for forgiveness for something, or they are like attacking her or like interrogating her. This shot definitely makes me think this is when they reveal that Nat that they know she knows where Coach is and that she has been helping him. And I think this shot is also a part of that scene. I think this is Nat's face when she's crouched down on the ground, and all of them are surrounding her. I think it's sequential to the last two shots and not pictured. I didn't include this one. The next shot was just some of the group walking through the forest, and after that we see the group walking in front of one of the huts with torches. And in this shot, we hear Shauna say, so tonight we'll give the wilderness what it wants, which I think could be in reference to Nat, given the context and what we see visually happening here in the trailer at this time. It feels like this is a follow-up to Misty planting that seed in Shauna about Nat. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure. Yeah, but I think that this could be in reference to Natalie. Next picture is the group releasing lanterns into the sky with Lottie in the center. And this is one of the shots that, excuse me, many were speculating was a possible hallucination. But after Sammy Hanratty recently posted a picture on Instagram of her wearing the clothes from this scene, she said that they made the hoods that they have on from the seats of the airplane, which makes me think this isn't a hallucination at all. It makes me think this is real because why would she throw out that little tidbit if it was supposed to be a hallucination? If it was a hallucination, why would it matter what their hoods were made out of? I highly doubt they would include that much detail in the hallucination to explain what their hoods were made out of. So to me, I think that this scene is real. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's confirmed that the ritual with the lanterns will be featured in episode 1 after they release more. Okay. All right. Thank you, Brendan. And I didn't include the next screenshot, but it's another one of them releasing the lanterns, and it was featured in a TV line exclusive a few weeks back. It looks almost exactly like this picture. It's just more of an aerial view, and I don't think Lottie is in the center in that one. This next shot is Ty speaking, and I'm assuming to Shauna at this point. We see this shot in the teaser as well, but we hear her say this time, "Aren't you worried about what we're going to tell people if we make it back?" So clearly something big happens that makes them think about what would happen if anybody else ever found out about it. Like them eating Jackie, but if they eat more than one person, I feel like it's something else other than them eating people, like Coach Ben's execution, perhaps, because I feel like they justify the killing of their friends for food because they need that food to survive. Whereas I very much feel like if Ben dies, it's going to be because they kill him on purpose, like not because they want to eat him, but just because they want him dead. So this next shot is Shauna, and she is bending over or like touching something, a rock, I think. And I'm assuming that this is Shauna, and this is one of the rocks that, or this is the makeshift grave that she made for the baby after she gave birth to the baby. And she's visiting it for comfort or something like that. Or I thought it could be where they buried Jackie and she's going there for that same reason. But this next shot of somebody touching the rock, I'm assuming is Shauna. And this very much looks like one of the rocks that she used to bury her baby. Yeah. That's her baby. That was my thought too. That was my thought too, Allison. So it's she might never talk about it, but it clearly obviously affects her. And in this next shot, this is Shauna looking absolutely insane and enraged. And I have a feeling this season, Shauna is going to assert herself or at least try very hard to become the leader of the group after everything falls apart with Natalie. I think she wants that role. I think that she longs for it. She felt that she deserved it, so she's owed it, and she wants to take that power. I think we're going to see that happen too. I really do. I saw a really funny meme today of a picture of Natalie and Shauna, and it had a map of the United States, and it had Shauna Shipman and Natalie Scatorcia up top, and it was like the electoral college votes for each one. It was really, really funny. I wish I had the meme on hand so I could show you guys. This next picture is Lottie, and she is obviously eating something. I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming that it's someone and they're eating a person here. Next picture. Oh, well, the next picture I didn't actually include. It was just a shot of Misty looking up into the sky. It looked like she heard something, but I didn't include that one. So this one is these next three shots I think are all taken from the same scene. We have Van and Ty's behind her, but we have Van and it looks like she is chanting or yelling something. And then we have the group, which you can't really tell in this one too well, but it kind of resembles the picture of them from season 2 as adults dancing around the fire. Like they're clearly dancing around a fire in this picture, but I think that these shots and this next one are all connected. And then we have Lottie directly in the center again of everybody, which I think clearly like they're leaning full force into the power that they believe that the wilderness holds. And they are, yeah, doom coming all over again. I feel it. They're having a good old time. Yeah, for sure. They're definitely getting into it now. Next picture, well, not pictured, is the mysterious envelope with Shauna's name on it. And notably, the envelope says Shauna Shipman and not Sadecki. So I thought that was a really interesting detail that the envelope said Shauna Shipman and not Shauna Sadecki. But this comes right after that shot. And this is Shauna reading something, presumably whatever came in the envelope with her name written on it. And I can't tell from the picture if there's a postcard there as well. But I will be so disappointed if they do not expand on the postcards or revisit them or offer some explanation as to who sent them, because I will say, we know it wasn't Jeff. I will stand by that. It was not Jeff, and you will not change my mind. So I'm really hoping that they show us something to back my thoughts up on that. Next shot is someone picking up a queen card. And I personally think this is Van. And notably, the queen card does not have the eyes blacked out like the card in the wilderness and the cards used for the hunt in the adult timeline in the season 2 finale. I think they're finding this card in the adult timeline. So did someone put this card here purposely to be found, or was it there by pure chance? I'm very curious about that. The next two shots I didn't include. It just shows Ty and Van, presumably outside, sitting outside somewhere together. And then in the next one, we see someone holding a cassette tape. And I'm assuming it's Shauna based on the next few shots. But what could the tape pertain to? They didn't record anything out in the wilderness because they had nothing to record themselves with. So what exactly, like what significance does this tape have? Allison says possibly a police interrogation tape. Well, I will get to what my thoughts are on what it could possibly be in a second. In the next shot, we see Shauna saying, "Someone wants us dead." Could this be after she reads whatever was in that envelope that says Shauna Shipman? Is this about Shauna and the other adult women, or is this about the Sadecki family? I'm assuming it's about Shauna and the other adult women at this point. But in the next shot, we see someone holding what looks like either like some kind of a recording device or a tape player of some kind. It's been a while since I've seen a tape player. So I'm not 100% sure, but because we did just see a tape, I'm going to go ahead and assume that it was a tape player. So in the next shot, we see Shauna listening to something. And obviously, we're assuming it's the tape from a few frames ago in a bathroom. What if these tapes are of the girls post-rescue? What I mean is, I'm assuming once they are rescued, they will be questioned by the proper authorities about what happened to them. And I'm also going to assume that they will see some type of mental health professional or a psychologist to help them cope with the trauma of what they experienced and help them to reintegrate back into their normal lives. And if that's the case, it's entirely possible that these sessions were recorded by a therapist. So, what if they somehow got their hands on these tapes and listened to them to see if anyone spilled information in the past? Like if somebody, when they were rescued, gave information away that they didn't know until now because they're trying to figure out who has been messing with them. And that way they may be able to, like, process of elimination, if you will. But like, somebody had to have told an outside source something if whoever is messing with them isn't from the wilderness. So I don't, that's just a theory that I came up with, but it would be pretty cool if that was actually what happened. But in this next shot caught my attention too, because when I first watched the trailer, I didn't catch the blood on the wall behind Misty. Misty, clad in Nat's leather jacket, saying, "Don't think for a second I won't get to the bottom of this." And there's, like I just said, obviously blood right behind her head. So this does not appear to be the Sadecki household, uh, based off what we see in the background. This does not look like Shauna's house. The blood leads me to believe that somebody definitely ends up dead this season, and that it probably happens at the hands of one of the adult women. They end up killing another person, like Shauna killed Adam in season 1. I think that they might end up killing another person this season. Next shot is Misty going through a dumpster, and she's holding a specific piece of trash and examining it. Misty is in the modern day is on a warpath and none of us are ready. Yes, and I am here for it. I love me some Misty. But why would Misty be going through the trash now? This picture brings me back to season 1 when Nat and Misty broke into Travis's house, and Misty says to Nat, "You can learn so much about a person by going through their personal refuse." So she's taking her own advice and going through the trash, looking for something, looking for evidence of something. So I mean, what is she investigating? What is she trying to find is my question. Next shot, we see Shauna walking through a swinging door, and I am unsure as to where she is in this picture. I can't tell if it's her house or if it's another location, but not a whole lot to figure out from this one. Next shot is Ty looking at someone through some blinds, and I was wondering if maybe she could be back in the hospital. Maybe with Simone, or possibly at the hospital with Van if Van seeks treatment for her cancer. So I don't know, but I'm hoping that Simone and Sammy come back into the picture in some way. It would be slightly annoying if they just wrote them out and didn't bring them back. But at the same time, I could see that happening because the kid that plays Sammy is aging, and at the age that he's at, they age really quickly and really noticeably. So they might not have been able to bring him back without recasting the kid. The next picture is Walter, and he is dressed in some kind of suit jacket and a tie. And he says to whoever he's speaking to here, "Are you hiding something?" And I 100% think that he is either talking to one of the adult women. I'm unsure if it's Misty or not, or I had a crazy kind of thought. What if Walter is actually undercover in some kind of way? Like for collecting information on the women for his own personal gain, say a podcast or a high profile magazine, or he's doing that exact same thing on behalf of someone else. Someone else is looking into them and he is assisting them, or he's assisting whoever is actively targeting the women and sending them the postcards and the letters. Is there something sinister about Walter after all? Like, is he actually not out in the best interests? Does he not actually have Misty's best interests at heart? Is he really putting on a show? I hope not, but you never know. You never know with this show. This next picture is, to me, it looks like a body laying on the floor, and by the shoe that we can see, I'm assuming that this is a woman. And there are candles next to the body. And to me, this kind of looks like the crawl space where Ty built her sacrificial altar, complete with poor Biscuit's head. So is this person we see laying here some type of sacrifice? Did Ty kill someone and this is where she hides the body? Because the candles are there. So either she was put somewhere where there already were candles, which there were candles in Ty's little crawl space thing, or is it somewhere else and candles just happen to be there, or the candles don't have anything to do with it at all? But I'm prone to think that they definitely have something to do with it. But the next shot is of Misty when her and Callie are having a conversation. And Misty says to Callie here, "Think about how screwed up we would be if we had survived a plane crash only to end up eating each other." And Callie replies with, "Oh, I do." And this comment from Misty really makes me think that they really did keep it a secret that they ate each other. I think that they stuck to that story about starving and scavenging, and they did not ever completely open up with to the fact that they ate each other. But I feel like it'd be really hard for people to believe that they managed to survive for a year and a half out in the wilderness with nothing without having to resort to those lengths, especially considering that only a few of them came back. So I don't know. I can't wait to see Misty and Callie together. Me too. I can't wait to see Misty with all the people I've seen her with in the trailer. It's gonna be good. And the next shot is Ben screaming, which we saw in the teaser as well. And in the teaser, we get more of like a bigger picture of when he's screaming. So you can tell that I'm pretty sure he's in the cave when this scene is happening. He's obviously real upset about something. This next shot is Ty, and she's opening the trunk of a car and looking inside of it. What is she looking at? Maybe she's looking at a body. I don't know. Because maybe she's looking at a body that ends up in her crawl space in her house. I don't know. And this next shot is Lottie exiting a building. When we see this, we hear a voiceover of Van saying, "The only people who know about this are either us or dead." Now, could this be Lottie leaving, exiting the treatment facility or institution that she was taken to after the season 2 finale? Now, yeah, she does. She looks amazing. Like, glow up for real. For real. But I'm unsure of whether she's actually leaving a treatment facility, because I've never seen anybody who worked at a treatment facility like that before dressed like the man standing behind her, unless that man happens to be like her driver or something like that. But like the clothes that he's wearing, that's not the kind of uniform that you wear when you work at like a mental health facility. You wear nurses scrubs and stuff like that. So is that where she's coming from? Lottie is all like, "That's right, you can't lock up this queen for long." Maybe a lawyer. I never considered that before. Yeah, that's a good thought. Maybe a lawyer, yeah. And the next picture is what appears to be someone crushing up mushrooms with a rock, which again makes me think the mushrooms and them tripping will come into play again in a way for them to deeper connect with the wilderness. They, especially because Lottie said when she like told them that Natalie was supposed to be their leader, that she couldn't hear it anymore. So maybe she gets this crazy idea that she'll be able to hear it if they trip on mushrooms and they all collectively trip again. And maybe they're collectively tripping when they release those lanterns into the sky. Next shot is Misty pulling up what appears to be a pair of tights over her face as a makeshift mask. And we also see this shot in the teaser. Next shot is someone eating something off a skewer. And to me, this looked like it could be adult Thai. And the next shot is, the next shot I didn't actually include was just a close-up of Van finishing the quote about the only people knowing about what happened to them is either one of them or dead. But they're obviously questioning who could be messing with them. And it sounds like they're at a loss at who that could be. But as you can see here, the next few shots depict knives. And in this specific shot, someone is pulling a knife out of its holder. I'm going to take a stab at it and say this is 100% adult Shauna. I think that it looks like the seat of her minivan. If you can tell in the corner, there is a coffee cup there. And that coffee cup looks exactly like the coffee cup that she brought Adam when she killed him. And if you remember, not as much time has transpired in the adult timeline. So I definitely think that's Shauna. Definitely Shauna in her van. Yes, Allison, I agree. And her flannels, yes, that's another reason why I thought it was Shauna, because you can see the flannel on the sleeves of the shirt, and we know Shauna loves that flannel. They really focused on the blades coming out. Probably an emphasis on people will get cut this season. Okay, Brendan. All right. The next shot is Shauna, and she's in the trailer. You can see her pulling the knife out and holding the knife behind her back. And it looks like she is readying herself to defend herself against someone or something. Or like she hears a noise and she gets scared, because like her facial expression, she looks scared to me. And in the next shot, we see someone dragging a knife across a table. Could this possibly be the Sadecki house? It looks like it could be in the background to me. But I couldn't tell who this was doing the knife dragging, but somebody's after someone, and I hope it's not Shauna, because we do see some other shots with a knife that indicate something might happen to Shauna this season. And in this shot, we see Melissa, and we see Melissa in focus, and the knife is in the forefront. It's out of focus in this picture. There is an image of this knife in the trailer that is in focus, and it has blood all over it. So, and Melissa looks very concerned when that knife hits that surface. And I think that that was being done and intended to intimidate her in some kind of way. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Melissa. Because in the teaser trailer, we also saw that image of Shauna holding a knife up to her neck. So maybe this is that same instance, and it's like a buildup or something. Here we see Shauna, and she's speaking here in the trailer, and she says, "The only way to be truly safe is to be the only one left." And I'm unsure of who she could be talking to here, but something in my gut makes me think that it could be Callie, with her being up to a series regular and everything. And I think that Shauna is going to include Callie a lot more moving forward, because Callie does already know so much, and because of everything that Callie saw in the season 2 finale. And I'm really curious as to how Shauna is going to explain all of that away to Callie. Next shot, well, not pictured, is a shot of Misty that is shown right before this shot. And in that shot, she says, "This is not healthy." And it's directly followed by this shot, which is Misty picking up a knife off a kitchen counter and seemingly stabbing Shauna in the back with it. And a lot of people think that this is going to be a hallucination, because they don't think that anything is going to happen to Shauna. But I think that this is real, and that Shauna gets away and ends up hiding from Misty. In the previous teaser, there are shots of Shauna having a conversation with Jackie somewhere. And in those pictures, it looks like that conversation is taking place somewhere where it's very cold. So I theorize that they were possibly in some kind of a deep freezer or an industrial freezer, because in the shot of Misty taking the knife off the table, it looks like she's in some kind of industrial kitchen. That made me think maybe they're back at Lottie's cult or something, because Lottie's cult had that type of a kitchen, probably had that type of a freezer. Trying to rack my brain for where else they could be that would have those types of things. I don't know, but I have theorized that when this happens and Misty stabs Shauna or tries to stab Shauna and she's unsuccessful somehow, that Shauna is hiding from Misty, because Misty is actively chasing her and trying to stab her. So she's hiding in some kind of a deep freezer as protection. That was just something that I thought of because of the images that we saw in the teaser. All the adult Yellowjackets turning on each other would be interesting, like how they will be in the wilderness. Yeah, I think that's possible too, that they could all turn on each other. The next shot is Hilary Swank running down a road covered in blood. And this makes me have so many questions. Who is she running from? Why is she running? Why is she running outside and in the middle of nowhere, it seems? I think this is probably after we see her in the trailer say, "Oh shit," or "holy shit," whatever she says. And this is her running from someone. So really excited to get more context into this. Next shot is someone pinned up against a tree by another figure, that we also see in the Cannibal Council scene in the pilot and in, I'm pretty sure, actually, no, we just see this person in the Cannibal Council scene. And to me, the person in the pink looks like it could be Shauna from what we can see of her face anyways in this picture. Next picture is Van and Ty running down a street. I can't tell if they're running from something or towards something. Next shot is an arrow hitting a tree. And this has to be the teen timeline, right? Do they somehow make a bow and arrow out of material that they have or find and use that to hunt maybe when they run out of bullets for the gun, or like an additional method of hunting? Because if I remember correctly, I don't ever see them using a bow and arrow before this season. So I'm really curious where that comes into play, and I'm gonna guess it's definitely the teen timeline. It would just make the most sense for it to fit in there. This next shot is Ty, and it looks like she is struggling or fighting with someone, and they are covering her mouth in this screenshot. And in the trailer, you get a better visual of it. You can tell she's definitely struggling with someone. And these next two shots are Akilah, Van, and Shauna. And it looks like to me they're like exploring or investigating somewhere new. I was thinking maybe they discover the cave Ben has been hiding in, or they just possibly discover an additional cave that leads them to uncover others. Maybe it's revealed that the symbols on the trees are markers for the caves, and they discover that, or they figure that out, put it all together. So if Natalie tells them that Ben is hiding under the symbol tree, or that they know, and they find that out, and they know about the fact that there are caves under each symbol tree, then maybe they end up finding Ben all on their own without Natalie's help or something. But in these images, like in this one, no fire. In this one, fire. And in the trailer, it looks like that thing like catches fire spontaneously, like all on its own. Like, are they gonna like say the wilderness sets its own fires now, or is that gonna make them think that maybe the cabin spontaneously combusted? I don't know. That fire just flashing before them did seem ominous. Yes, it for sure did. The next shot is Ghost Jackie, and in the teaser, it, like I said, it looks like she's having a conversation with adult Shauna in a freezer of some kind. It looks like there's like ice or like frost or snow in her hair. I don't know if that's supposed to be because like when she died, she froze to death, or if she looks like that because they're somewhere cold. I don't know. Next shot is Natalie looking shocked and horrified about something. Could it have, actually, I don't know what that could have to do with. That looks like a pretty big fire behind her, though, now that I think about it. It never crossed my mind before, but the cocky-eyed Jackie in the freezer was all like, "Bet you thought you saw the last of me." Yeah, probably. And this next shot is Ty looking absolutely hysterical about something. Now, could it have to do with Simone? The nurse did say to her, "We're not out of the woods yet," in regards to Simone's recovery after the car crash. Or maybe she loses custody of Sammy. But not to sound too harsh or anything, but like, I don't think something like that happening would elicit this emotional of a response from Ty. She doesn't strike me as like an overly emotional person. I mean, we saw her cry for like 0.2 seconds in the first season when it showed that montage of like Shauna taking a shower after they cut up Adam's body and Ty getting home and realizing that Simone and Sammy weren't there. And she cries for like 0.2 seconds. And then she's like, get it together, Ty. Like, she doesn't allow herself to go to that place. So, whatever is provoking these feelings is something that is absolutely devastating, which makes me more inclined to think it has something to do with Van, honestly. In this next shot, we see Shauna angrily throwing everything from her kitchen counter onto the floor. Now, what would provoke Shauna to do this? What would make her angry enough in the adult timeline to throw a hissy fit and throw all of her shit onto the floor? I don't have any good guesses at this point. So if you guys have any, throw them in here for me. The next shot would be Lottie screaming. Could this possibly be a post-rescue shot? Could this be after they were rescued and she's upset about something? I don't know. I don't think so. It looks like it's in the wilderness, but it did cross my mind that maybe it could be post-rescue, because I think we're definitely going to see some of that context this season of them post-rescue as teenagers. I think we're going to get some of that this season. And this next shot was one that was heavily debated amongst some friends and myself yesterday. A pair of eyes, and one is squinting. And to me, it looks like this person has petechia, or broken or burst blood vessels in their eyes and the skin surrounding them, which typically indicates strangulation, forceful being strangled. Like I said, I debated about this picture with some friends yesterday as to who this could be. And to me, the eyes in this picture look blue. So I think that since I think they're blue, that means that it could only be a very, very few people. Could maybe be Natalie, could maybe be Melissa, could maybe be Van. I also think there is that it's possible that this could be Van in the adult timeline as well. I'm inclined to think that it's Van because the person here looks as if they have freckles, and we know that they have freckles. There's a shot of Mari spraying something like mace, so this could be the result. Oh, really? That's one of the things I didn't include then, because I don't have a shot like that in here. And to be honest with you, I definitely missed a couple things when I took screenshots, because there were just so many things to take pictures of and keep track of. I think I had like 150 pictures, and I had to narrow it down to this many. So, but thank you for that tidbit, Allison. I appreciate that. I think it's Shauna. See, other people said that as well, that they think it's Shauna. But to me, the eyes are blue. And Shauna has very dark brown eyes. So I don't think that it's Shauna. But that's just me. This next picture is Van, and someone, I think it's Ty, is holding her up or holding her back from something, or is someone possibly attempting to take her somewhere against her own free will? She looks very distraught when we see this image of her in the trailer. It looks like somebody is like almost consoling her in a way. This next picture is Akila, and it almost looks like she's in pain or something, or anticipating something scary, or like in shock in a way. I don't know. Next is Coach Ben's mouth. Not a whole lot there. This next one is Misty in front of a fireplace, and she's holding the picture from the reunion, and she smashes the frame on the mantle. And I think this is where we will see her burning that picture, like we saw in the Entertainment Weekly exclusive pictures that they released. There was a picture of Misty burning a picture, and you could tell that that picture was the picture from the reunion. So I've asked this question before. Why would Misty be burning this picture? Why is she like smashing it on the mantle in the first place? What upsets her? What makes her want to do this? There has to be something that would prompt this, because she views these women as like her idols almost, and she wants to be a part of their group so badly. So why would she destroy something like that? Next shot is Van and Mari, and Van is smiling and high-fiving Mari, and Mari is wearing the same nightgown we see her running in during the teaser trailer and earlier in this trailer as well. Now, could Mari running away have almost been like a training session for how future hunts would work? Like they were like doing a test run, if you will. And Mari was like, "Oh, I'll be your test subject as long as you promise not to actually kill me." I wonder why Misty is burning the reunion picture. Is it symbolizing her burning her connection with the fellow Yellowjacket survivors? Yeah, I think it definitely has to be something like that. Along those lines, anyways. Next shot is Travis looking up at something. And again, guys, I apologize if I missed certain ones that like you had noticed. I tried to go through and pick out as many as I could. But this is Travis looking up at something, and I didn't include the next shot because we already saw it in the teaser, but it is the one of the makeshift gavel that, and the more that I stare at that picture of the makeshift gavel, the more I'm convinced that it's Ben in the background of that picture in the yellow shirt. It just, I don't know. And don't get me wrong, like, as much as I am rooting for a Coach Ben reveal in the present day, the closer we get to the season and the more details that emerge, things just are not looking hot for Coach in any way, shape, or form, like at all. Next picture is Shauna's minivan driving through a field of some kind, purposely trying to hit something, or so it seems. And that's followed by Misty and Shauna together, which truly shocks me. Not a duo I thought that we would ever see ever in a million years. They're clearly up to something. Like, what are they trying to hit? Is this Shauna going off the rails and off book? Or did Misty know that Shauna was going to do this? Like, was Misty in on this plan? Or did something like Shauna was just like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I want. And Misty's like, oh my God, we're going to die. Who knows? Oh, wait, what does this comment say? I've watched the trailer on 0.25 and saw so much that I hadn't seen before, but because it was my TV, I didn't take any screenshots. I haven't watched it slowed down yet, actually, now that you mentioned that. I've watched it a bunch of times, but none of them slowed down. So I will have to do that after we finish. Next shot is Mari screaming and terrified of something. Oh, maybe this is the shot you were talking about, Allison, where she's spraying what looks like some. Yes, it does look like she's spraying something here, now that I look at it more closely. But it looks like she's scared of something. And I thought maybe she was like possibly having more hallucinations of blood and hearing dripping sounds or something. Yeah, there's the mace or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's obviously spraying something, mace, bear spray, maybe, because maybe it was in the cabin, but I don't know. They lost everything in the cabin. So how would she have that? Is it something they found in the airplane, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm like so curious about this. Mari is spraying mace, and I think she got either Van or Shauna. But where did she get the mace, guys? Like, where does the mace come from? Because I highly doubt any of them were just like casually carrying mace on them and just like happened to whip it out at the right time, because we haven't seen it once. So I don't know. Like, that's, oh, okay. Now I'm super curious about this shot. It didn't really strike my attention or get my attention before. This next one did, though. This is clearly Ty about to smother someone with a pillow in what appears to be a hospital setting. And when I first saw this image, my first thought was, this is Simone. She's killing her. That's it. Like you're done. But I'm pretty sure that the person in this bed is bald. So can't be Simone. But that made me think, what if this is Van after she has received treatment for her cancer? And this is Ty maybe putting her out of her misery. I can't think of anyone else that Ty would want to smother. And also, Misty standing in the background of this picture, like, she's obviously involved in this somehow. She's there. She's watching Ty do this. She's a witness. She's an accomplice. So who could it be? They look old. They do look old, but why would she be smothering some random old person? Like, what if it's Coach Ben? Oh man. What if it's Coach Ben? Oh my gosh. If he came back and they get to him in the hospital. Okay. Next picture is Shauna holding something over her shoulder. And it looks like a bag of ice to me, to be honest with you. But this shot looks like she is again in that industrial freezer type area that I speculated about before. So like like I said, it looks like a bag of ice. Is she preparing to hit Misty and defend herself after Misty tries to stab her in the back? I think it's tied to that. I think that, like I said, I think that when Misty tries to stab her, she gets away. And this is happening after that. Okay, next picture is, actually not pictured because I couldn't get the screenshot no matter how many times I tried, is what appears to be a telephone, a clear telephone with a Yellowjackets sticker on it. And I was thinking this has to be a clue of some kind or mean something, because why else would they include it in the trailer if it didn't mean anything? And I think this was also featured in, they released like a 20-second teaser commercial on Prime a couple weekends ago when they had a football game on. I just happened to be watching football with my husband that night, and I saw the trailer. He was mid-sentence, and I went like this so I could watch it and analyze everything. But there was a shot of Walter, and then there was a shot of this telephone, and then there was a shot of Hillary Swank. So somebody on Twitter said they thought maybe the phone could have something to do with both of them since it was a shot in between those two shots. I don't know about that, but was it Misty's old phone? Yeah, no, because Misty's phone looked like lips, didn't it? I'm pretty sure she had like a phone that looked like a pair of lips, right? Or am I taking that from another show? But I thought that it looked like a pair of lips. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I don't mind being wrong. I would rather be corrected if I am wrong. So the next shot that we see is Shauna swimming underwater. Okay. All right, the lips. I knew it was a 90s phone of some sort. Okay. I was just making sure I didn't have my shows confused because that's entirely possible. I watch a lot of TV. Um, so Shauna's swimming underwater, and in the very last shot of the trailer, it shows what looks like Shauna to be drowning. So is this that same scene, or is this a separate scene? It looks like she could possibly be attempting to like hide from someone here. Like she's staying underwater on purpose. I didn't include this one, but after this, there was a shot of what we all have theorized is possibly a kneecap being reset or being put back into place. Then what appears to be Mari's face being smashed into or smushed into the ground. It really looks like Mari is going to go through it this season. I think that, and also there's the description for one of the episodes that they released that I think might pertain to Mari too. This next picture is Ty blowing out a match. And I was wondering, could she be lighting the candles that were surrounding the body that we saw in that whatever space it was in earlier in the trailer? Could this be her starting a sacrificial ritual and that dead body is her sacrifice or something? Because she clearly did a ritual before, so who's to say she won't do it again? Watch out, Steve. This next picture is Hilary Swank laying on the ground and saying, "You really are insane." And my gut tells me that she could be talking to Misty or maybe even Walter. Something in my gut and in my head keeps making me ask myself, could Walter and Hilary Swank's character be connected somehow? The theory that I had earlier about how Walter could possibly be looking into the adult women for his own personal gain or to help somebody else in some way. Maybe that person is Hilary Swank. Maybe he's working with Hilary Swank. And that's how she comes into the picture somehow. Hilary absolutely talking to Shauna. Okay, yeah. You see the hair when it's slowed down. Okay. Well, that makes me really wonder how Hilary Swank fits in if that's Shauna. Like, I mean, it makes me wonder anyways, but let me get this comment off here. Okay, next picture is some of the group running around the makeshift campsite that they created. Can't really tell a whole lot from that one. It kind of looked like they were actually having fun in this picture in the trailer, like when we see this flash anyways. And this next one, it looks like someone eating something, and to me, this looks like it could be a finger, like a human finger. And the mouth suspiciously looks like it could be Natalie's mouth, I think. The hair is the right color. So yeah, this looks like somebody chowing down on a person's finger, in my opinion. That's what it looks like to me. A finger with white nail polish. Yeah, doesn't it look like almost like a pinky sticking out of this person's mouth? That's what I think. Next shot is Travis and Lottie. And to me, in this shot, it almost looks like Lottie is like taunting Travis or antagonizing him in a way, and that he's calling for help. He wants somebody to come and rescue him and get him out of this situation. The look on Lottie's face is like, haha, like, I'm really fucking with you now. Like, that's what I think anyways. All right. Next picture is adult Van and adult Ty, and we also saw a photo of them that Entertainment Weekly released, and it's them standing in front of a wall. And I think this is just a close-up of that shot. And we, like I said, we saw this in the teaser, and we also saw Ty imagining the man with no eyes in this scene in the teaser behind Van and Ty as they were kissing. Next shot, someone opening a door, and it looks like an adult's hand to me. So I'm going to assume at this point in time that this is taking place in the adult timeline. And to me, it looks like this door is opening somewhere that is very cold. Like it looks like there's like frost on the outside of the door or something. I don't know, but I'm very curious about this door. Yeah, pertaining to the last shot, Travis seems incredibly distraught, and I wonder if this is why Lottie ends up getting strangled by him. Yeah, maybe he like retaliates and fights back, and that's why we see him strangling her. All right, next shot. This one is a close-up of Ty, and I'm going to go ahead and assume this is her in her fugue state based off of the look in her eyes. And it appears as if Ty's been eating dirt again. There's black all over that mouth. So she's reverting back to old habits. I mean, we saw it happen in season 1 when she was sitting outside of Sammy's room. Yum. So yeah, it's happening again. And I'm sure we're going to find out why and find out what is causing that to happen, because something sets this behavior off. Next shot is the man with no eyes, and in the trailer it looks like he's walking past the doorway. And the very last shot that I have is Shauna drowning or struggling to swim. And like I said, I know that I missed a few shots at the very end, but I tried to focus on the ones that I found the most pressing and interesting as to what's to come in the upcoming season. And notably, missing from the trailer, who we did not see in the trailer at all, were Simone, Sammy, Jeff, and Joel McHale's character. We did not see a glimpse of him whatsoever. If there's anybody else that wasn't included that I'm not adding that's still alive anyways, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that's everybody. And after watching this trailer a couple times, it really made me wonder how much of this season will be hallucination and how much of this season is going to be real. Because the trailer for last season and last season featured almost more hallucinations than reality, at least in the teen timeline. And I don't know about you, but I'm hoping that this season is a little different and we aren't as misled as much as we were with the last trailer, with everything being a hallucination. Didn't we see Jeff in a scene with Shauna, or was that from something else? No, there is a photo though that they released, Allison, on Showtime's website, and it's of Shauna and Jeff at dinner. So I know he's there. He just wasn't in the trailer. But I could go on for days about all of these screenshots and speculate until I'm blue in the face about what's possibly to come for season 3. And I know all of you could too. I tried to keep this as short as I could, and I'm at 1 hour and 24 minutes. So yeah, but sorry if I missed it, but it looks like Walter's talking to Jeff when he asks if they're hiding something. Okay, so it looks like he's talking to Jeff in that screenshot. Okay. I mean, they did team up when they moved Kevin Tan's body, so maybe that starts a unexpected friendship or something between Walter and Jeff. I love it when stories use madness, and I'm so excited to see what Yellowjackets will do with that. Yes, agreed. But what caught your attention the most in the trailer? What stuck out to you the most? Drop a comment and let me know. I love to hear everyone else's theories and thoughts. It's so much fun to like compile them all together and make this like almost like Yellowjackets encyclopedia of all of our theories. I think Jeff is going to be scared of Walter. Yes, I think he should be scared of Walter, I think. Walter and Jeff book club. I really am team Melissa Survivor now. Not you're not the only one, Sync 19. I've seen that all over Twitter. Everybody is becoming a Melissa fan. Misty talking to Callie will be fun. Yes, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to, because actually I look forward to Misty interacting with literally anyone because Misty's my favorite. And it's just hilarious because Misty is Misty and everyone else is like, what is wrong with you? You're a weirdo. And Misty just doesn't, like, it's just not there. Like, she wants to be liked, but she doesn't realize that she's so weird. But I want to thank everybody for joining me in this dissection. Having new things to talk about in the world of Yellowjackets makes me so incredibly happy. I know how long that we collectively as a fandom have been waiting for this season, and we diehards have stuck it out. We have waited a long time to get new episodes, and I have a feeling that we're going to be rewarded for our patience this season. I definitely think this is going to be worth the wait, and we're all going to be very satisfied. Our hunger will be satisfied, if you will. So, like I said, thanks again for joining me, guys. It was so fun to chat with you all. And with that, like always, until I spill again.